When it comes to handling firearms safely, you'll have different people that teach different rules when it comes to holding those guns and handling those guns. I believe that firearm safety needs to be more than just a set of rules that you're capable of reciting. This really needs to be a mindset. A lot of times people get complacent in handling guns, so we've got to make sure that we're doing things in the safest way possible. The rules that I typically teach students when they're holding firearms and handling guns is they want to keep their finger somewhere other than the trigger anytime they're not shooting. Now what we're looking for with that finger being somewhere other than the trigger is that the trigger finger is straight and higher than the trigger and trigger guard itself. Now, one of our natural reactions to being startled or to slipping down at the range or getting something like hot brass down our clothes is to have a grasp reflex if we're holding on to an object in our hand. It's very convenient if you happen to be climbing a ladder and you slip, but it's not so convenient to have happen when you have something like a firearm in your hand. But by staging that trigger finger higher than the trigger and trigger guard, we really reduce the chance of it unintentionally coming back and actually hitting that trigger with a grasp reflex. So find somewhere that gives you tactile feedback, that you know exactly where your finger is without even having to look down at the firearm, and it's only moving to the trigger when you're extending the gun out to do the shooting. Also, it's important to keep a gun pointed in a generally safe direction whenever possible. Now, we always don't have that backstab, that bullet trap, or that berm available to us, so we want to choose that generally safe direction. If the gun were to go off, where's the lowest risk to everybody around us? So let's choose that best direction that we have available to us. In the end, it's important to keep a big picture of what you're in control of. We've got to make sure that that is driving everything that we're doing with it. If you're pointing a gun in a specific direction, it's because you're aware that you're pointing that gun in that direction, and not just simply because you became complacent and the gun pointed over towards your side as you were bending over to pick something up. So we're keeping full awareness of what we're doing with it, and we don't want to allow complacency anywhere around anything that we're doing with the guns, whether we're storing the firearm or we're handling those guns. So we want to have fun with shooting. It's enjoyable to have guns, to shoot guns, but we need to make sure that we're doing so safely. Even when it comes to unloading the firearm, I think it's best if we have at least 2 people verify that that gun is unloaded. Shooting can be fun. I like to go to the range. You'll probably like to go to the range as well, but we need to make sure that we're lowering that risk and doing things as safely as we can.